What is up, pre-algebra students? This is lesson 17, and our objective for today is how do you round and estimate? And really, rounding and estimating is pretty much the exact same thing. Estimating is just where you round to numbers that are easy for you to calculate. So kind of all in one today. You will need to remember place values. You should already have this in your quick notes. I just wrote it quickly here. This is the decimal place here, and you go ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions on the left, and of course you have more than that as well. On the right is tenths, hundreds, thousandths, 10,000ths, 100,000ths, millionths. So just remember those place values. You'll be able to access them quickly as you are going through your homework. So this is like example 1. It says round this long number to the nearest 10,000. So if you need to look back up here, that's to this decimal place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line to the right of the 10,000s. The 5 is in the 10,000s place, so I'm wanting to cut it off there. So everything to the right of that red line that I drew should just be zeros. The only thing I'm really wondering about is this 5 right here. Should that 5 stay a 5, or should I change that 5 to a 6? Should I round it up? In order to answer that question, I need to look at the very next number to the right, and only this one. I don't have to worry about any of these down here. So I just need to worry about the 6. If this number in this position right here is a 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, so 5 or bigger, then this one will round up. If it is a 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0, then this one will stay the same. That's simply because, think about if you have $8, you're closer to having 10 than you are to having 0. But if you have $4, you're closer to having 0 than you are to having 10. So it's kind of how that works there. So since this is a 6, it's bigger, it falls in the category of 5 or bigger, so that means this 5 would round up, and me rounding this would look like 2, 3, 6, because that rounded up, and then zeros the rest of the way. Adding in those commas, and that would be rounded to the nearest 10,000ths. Alright, this next one, it says round to 3 decimal places, which means I need to have 3 numbers to the right of the decimal. So I'm just going to kind of, again, draw a little line right there. That's where I'm going to cut it off at. So I just need to look to this number, or to the right. Since this number is below 5, smaller than 5, this one is going to stay the same. So then to round this to 3 decimal places is going to be 7.123. Alright, these next ones are like example 3. It says round each number to the nearest whole number. Now whole number means I don't want any decimals or fractions after that. I just want it to be a whole number. Okay, which remember are like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. on up. So no decimals or fractions. So this one here has 12 and 3/5. So what I have to think about is 3/5 bigger than a half or smaller than a half? Well, in a little thought bubble here, half of 5 is 2.5. So 2.5 over 5 would be a half. So since this 3 over 5 is bigger than this 2.5 over 5, that means this is bigger than a half. If this is bigger than a half, that's going to make the 12 round up, right? So that would make this go up to 13. So my answer is going to be 13. Part B is 17.4932, and again I'm going to the nearest whole number. Something about cutting it right there at the decimal. So I do the same idea there. This is smaller than 5, so that means the 17 is going to stay the same. So my answer is going to be just simply 17. Alright, now on rounding, this says just estimate the product, which means, remember, multiplication. The product of 12 and 3/8 and 9.75. Well, I don't really want to multiply these fractions and decimals together. So since it just says estimate, I'm going to pick numbers that are easy to use. So I'm just thinking about numbers that are close that I can multiply easily. Well, 9.75 is really close to 10. So I'm just going to think of this as 10. And this other number, 3/8, remember 4/8 would be half, right? Because half of 8 is 4. 4/8 would be half. So it means this is less than half anyways. So I'm just going to think about this number as being 12. Since we're running the product, I'm going to say 12 times 10. Well, that makes it fairly easy. So my estimate is going to be 120. That would also be fairly close accurate, because remember this one I rounded up and this one I rounded down. So they're going to kind of counter each other. Is this exact? No, but it's a good estimate. It's going to be around there. Okay. Another one here, it says Gus works for 39 hours and he earns $9.85 per hour. And that's during a week. He calculates that he should get approximately $38,415. Is that reasonable? So really all we're trying to find out is that pretty close, or is he like way off? We're trying to find out, is that reasonable? Yes or no? And maybe just show some work on why we think that's reasonable or not reasonable. So does that seem close or not? Well, let's look back here at our two numbers. We got 39 and we got that 9.85. So pretty easy numbers. Let's see. 39, it'd be easier to multiply by 40, right? And 985, this is going to be close to 10. So if he worked 40 hours at $10 an hour, I'm going to think of 40 times 10, which is going to come out to be $400. So 40 hours at $10 an hour would be $400. So is that reasonable? No, that's not reasonable. He's getting close to 400. So somehow he got a couple extra zeros in there somewhere, right? Because now, I guess I do want to make a note here. Since I rounded this one up, right, from 39 to 40, that one went up. I rounded this one up. Since I rounded both of them up, this is going to be an overestimate. Say that one more time. Since I rounded this number and that number up, this 400 is going to be an overestimate, meaning that this is going to be around close to where it is, but this is going to be more than what he actually earns. It's going to be more than what he actually earns. He's going to be earning less than that because he didn't actually work 40 hours. He only worked 39. He doesn't actually make $10 an hour. He only makes $9.85. If you haven't already noticed it down here, your homework is on page 111. A little bit different this time than normal. You're doing all of them from the practice set, all of them from this lesson 17, and then 9 more of your choice. Good job. Ask questions if you have them.